4. Hi, welcome to Radio FM 88, Dreaming the New Dream. I'm Jeffrey Shaw. My host with me is Julia Chai. And after some issues with the NBN down in the Great Byron Bay Shire, we've now got our guest, Bambang. And we've really got our guest on tonight because he's what we would consider to be a modern-day mystic. But it's a fantastic story, interesting story, say the least. Stay tuned and have a listen now as Julia introduces Bambang. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving us a second chance at connecting with you. We're delighted to have Bambang Pramana with us today. Bambang is a retired electrical engineer, and he is also the author of the book that we've just featured, as well as having a blog on scientific spirituality. And he's also come up with something which is really interesting called the ultimate unification theory, which he has spent a lot of time connecting with people to try and explain at this important stage in our human evolution. So welcome to the show, Bambang. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Jeff. Hello, everybody. It's nice to be with you. Good.
So Bambang, just a bit of your background before you came to discover the ultimate unification theory, and I think you had your experience of awakening in 1997, which you write about on your blog, which is called The Old Chinaman's Blog. Can you tell us a little bit sort of where you grew up and what kind of a culture and spiritual beliefs that you grew up in?
Okay, thank you. I was born in Surabaya, in East Java. And if you know, Bali is known as the island of the gods. Java is known as the island of the mystics. So I grew up in a mystical island, mystical country. Since my childhood, I was very curious, want to know how things works, including the spiritual phenomena like magic, things like that. Because in Surabaya, in Java, the whole island, magic is common day-to-day happenings. And also like ghosts, for example. But at the very early years, my childhood, I was fascinated with radio and radio waves because like ghosts and spiritual phenomena is you cannot see that, but they exist. And radio, like a radio wave, is also you cannot see that, but it exists. You can tune it. Even I remember when I was about 5 years old, I joined the kindergarten or Catholic school, and the priest tell us the story about God. If you pray God in the church, God will come to you. But then I asked if somebody else in other church also pray at the same time, did God also come to that church? Yes, of course. So in my 5 years old logic, I said, God must be kind of radio wave that can be everywhere at the same time. Then this logic, 5 years old logic about waves that you can not see, but it exists, is apparently there's a very positive that I can understand how the cosmos work. Because a lot of spiritual phenomena, you cannot see them, but they happen. So automatically, when I finished my high school, I chose to go to Germany and study electrical engineering, because electrical engineering, I thought, especially Western science is very logical. You try to investigate about the natural phenomena and put down the natural law. Like, for example, the Newton law of movement. That's force equal mass by acceleration. That's a simple formula that underlay every movement of macroscopic things. And also, like Einstein formula, energy is mass by c, speed of light in square. I was looking for a simple formula like that, but when I reached or achieved my master degree in Germany, I still cannot explain how telepathy works, because telepathy and other phenomena is not included in the Western science. So I have to find out another way. So I studied myself relativity theory, quantum mechanics, and also reading a lot of this modern physics books like Fritjof Capra and everything. And also, I happen to be born in a theosophical society.
We lost the signal there, Julia. No? Jules, you have to unmute yourself, darling.
Yeah, I think Bambang told me that his father wasn't. Oh, here we are. He's back. Hi, Bambang, go on. Nope, that's
No. Ian hasn't to the Byron Bay Shire, eh?
he's still Queensland. Oh. Well, I know Bambang's just amazing, because when I met him, he said he was an old Chinaman, but he's Indonesian. And I said, why do you call yourself the old Chinaman? And he said, because I remember a past life where I was basically working the fields in China, and it was time for me to die, and I just floated. My spirit floated up, and as I floated up, I was quite happy to go. But then as I floated up more layers, I could hear and feel all this dreadful human suffering. And it really just, he said it just hurt his heart to keep on going and leave that all behind without trying to do something about it. So he decided to stay and come back. Hi, Elizabeth.
That's
So
right.
yeah, that's kind of really been his mission. But we are having technical issues, so we will prevail. We'll find a different way to bring what Bambang has to say.
We'll carry on, and if he comes back in, it's probably working on ASDL down there in the Byron Bay Shire. Everybody wants to get on at night to do their streaming services, and obviously, yeah, that seat needs to get some money put into it. Anyway, so it's amazing how this wheel of life comes about, eh? Because you discovered him and talked about what he'd gone and done back in Jakarta with all the big riots. But before we jump there, I thought it was a really interesting correlation there, where he was looking at all the scientific protocols, with Newton's law and Einstein to work out his electricity and energy and telepathy. And so he's got this brain that's wired, left brain, to work all this stuff out. And then he takes a path where he moving into the right brain to see how the God particle works, if that's what you want to call it, isn't it? So that's very conversation.
I think that's my card. That's the sickness of my old computer. That's why I didn't use it. The graphic card. Let's play up again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, Bambang. Welcome back to the show.
You made another incarnation, mate. Past life that we had before.
Yeah.
Two past lives and you're back again. You're doing quite well here, brother.
It's not meant.
This is Bambang version 3.
So
Yeah.
that's also why I didn't use it. The problem, the iPad cannot plug into the modem directly.
That's because it's got an Apple product, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey,
Apple product, yeah.
Apple product. Hey, listen, brother, have you got anybody in your family currently using your internet at the moment?
No, I turn off everything else. TV, iPad. No,
So you got
I'm the only one using. So I monopolize.
and
Wi-Fi modem is just here.
Okay. All right. Hey, we've got enough information anyway. If you drop out, carry on the conversation for you to come back.
Bali is a little bit backwards in a small town.
Yeah. So Bambang, you were just telling us about doing the masters in Darmstadt. And then while you were dropping off, we introduced to the audience about the fact that when you were working in Jakarta when were the riots? In 1999? There was these huge riots, and at that time I was actually I was working for companies that were helping people to get out of countries where there were troubles, and they were very busy shipping people out of Jakarta because it was such a dangerous place and time to be. What was it like at that time when the riots were on for you?
Everybody's scared. Yeah. That's the biggest riot that toppled Suharto regime. It's 1999. And at that time, before that, we had the economic meltdown. So the rupiah currency went down to only 25%. So thousands of company who has offshore loan just went bankrupt. And that's the opportunity for the principal company to buy all those company for a penny for the dollar.
And that was those tiger
and 60 million people out of job. Sorry, Jeff, I can't hear you.
No, that was when George Soros, that billionaire currency manipulator, took out all those
yes.
at that time,
yes.
wasn't it? And he was paying all those Vietnam
the hedge fund, George Soros, yeah.
And that stimulated the problems that happened to President Suharto, and then that's why the people came on the street. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess it's really interesting because people are on the street in different. Sorry, people are on the streets at the moment in different countries now as well, and things are going to get worse economically and job losses, etc. as well. So I'm just wondering, did you in Jakarta learn anything during that time that is it just pure economics and poverty that makes people not just demonstrate, but then turn against each other? Because there was quite a lot of killing going on at that time too.
That's what happened in Ambon, yeah, because the economic situation is very dire, and also Ambon has got such a composition of 40% Muslim and 50% Christian at that time. So that's like an equal power. So they clash. In other, like in Java or in Jakarta, Muslim is majority. So there is no clash between religion. But in Ambon, there's a clash between the religion. So I was compelled to write down an appeal. I got few friends from, for example, Satya Nusantara has got about 4 to 5 million membership in Indonesia. And at that time, also other Reiki, Jingxi, Marpati Putih, or all this spiritual group in Indonesia. I just contacted them and sent and created a group, what I call the Indonesian Network of Light Workers. And at the same time, also I've been doing a lot of email and awakening network. There's also Light Shift that has about 20 million members, group. So I sent out appeal for bridge of light meditation, so bridging between religions. It started on the 17th of March, no, in February. That's at the time there is that's so long time ago, 1999. I forget the date. All right. Then my appeal been translated by a friend of mine in the planetary network, planetary awakening network, and distributed along the internet and their network. And finally, we reached more or less about 25 million participants for the Bridge of Light meditation. And then we go into the meditation 2 weeks, and then the Kosovo war broke out, and everybody is creating a group, meditation group, global meditation group. But you can remember also in 1999, there is also a critical time. You remember the Y2K that people prophesize that's going to be Armageddon? Yeah, see, that's why at that time I just thinking that's probably the reason why achieved attendance of participants about around 25 million. Now we can't. But because at that time there is a critical, lot of people worried about that and joined the meditation, global meditation, 25 million.
Well done. That must have been amazing to have 25 million people meditating on a bridge of light. I'm pretty sure that would have changed things on the astral plane.
Yeah, massively. And actually after the Kosovo war, after the Kosovo war break out, we converted that into global peace meditation, the worldwide. All the websites coming up, and some of the websites are still there up till now, up till today.
Yeah, well done for establishing that. So how did you cross over from being an electrical engineer, working for a multinational company, to organizing meditations and writing books about mysticism and coming up with the unification theory? What was the path?
Actually, that's my personal interest and hobby, and that's probably also my life mission. This writing the book, working as an engineer and learning as an engineer is.
Yep. The card's gone again.
It's also a part of my mission, but working, earning the money is just to survive. My life mission from the beginning, from when I say in 2007, I had this life between life hypnotic session where I was regressed to my past life. That's what I call Tanpo Aran, that my past life that was a mystic, lived in a very remote area as a rice farmer. And when I died at that time, 1972, I was out of my body and engulfed in very beautiful, loving energy. But then suddenly I had a very sad feeling. Sad feeling because at that time probably also the vibration of the planet, people are getting ready for the World War II. Especially also a few years after that, the Hiroshima, the World War II broke out, the nuclear bomb exploded, and then a lot of millions souls, advanced souls, incarnating in this earth and try to help mankind from self-annihilation has been prophesied long time ago, and it didn't happen. And probably from some speculative, it's all because there's 25 million meditation, global peace meditation might also help a little bit.
Absolutely. So you had this.
And that's actually, yeah, actually from that LBL or life between gnosis, I know why I'm here, why I incarnated this time is actually to help mankind from self-annihilation. But I'm not alone because there are millions of other souls coming on in here, also doing helping. But you see, this planet is a planet of free will. You cannot force people to do something because we have to keep that the first universal law of free will. People can do whatever they want. The only thing what we can do is actually to increase the vibration of love and compassion. So a lot of millions of souls coming, incarnating on this planet, try to intensify the vibration of love and compassion. And just from the law of resonance and induction, people resonate to that, and a lot more people are becoming more loving and compassionate. So at least you can see also the baby boomer generation, the flower power generation, that's against the war generation. And then later on, now we can see also even now here, people love animals, people love and more compassionate. And that's actually my my mission of life. So working is part of, yeah, you have to survive. Actually, there was a question in my correspondence in Quora, actually, what is a mystic? Call myself the modern day mystic. Probably the definition of a mystic according to Merriam-Webster is actually the people who advocate the theory of mysticism, the unity of everything. You can experience God as a subjective experience. But with my own experience, you mentioned in August 1997, The mystic is one who realized his or her oneness with the source. It is the realization of the ultimate reality, the absolute oneness of all there is. There's the law of one. In the old days, mystic lived in seclusion as a hermit of ascetic, away from masses because their reality is so much different than their contemporaries. But what is a modern day mystic is a mystic who is also a scientist or even an engineer. So I was born in the mystical island. I learned the mystical or experienced mystic, but I was educated in Western schooling, the Catholic schooling. And I went to Germany to study the Western science. So I was combining the mystic and the Western science. That is very rare. But then there is not, people say mystic and science cannot be put together. But even Isaac Newton was a mystic. Erwin Schrödinger was also a mystic. And then as a mystic who experienced this oneness of all there is, the scientific problem now between the relativity theory and quantum mechanics can be seen as one. So science now has got they cannot reconcile with the relativity theory and quantum mechanics. For example, like in quantum mechanics, Einstein and his friends created thought experiments called the EPR paradox, Einstein, Podolsky, and Rostand paradox. They think if one complementary particle split into two and fly into the opposite direction at the speed of light, when something happens with one particle, the other complementary particle knows and compensates. So Einstein said there is nothing, not even information can travel faster than the speed of light. There could not be a communication between the two particles that going away with the speed of light in the opposite direction. But Niels Bohr from quantum mechanics says the quantum reality is indivisible. Those complementary particles is still together.
Hey, Bambang, can I just interrupt you?
Science, me, even Einstein cannot. Yes.
Hey, mate,
yes,
can you just, your microphone is rubbing against your shirt and it's coming through crackling and it's providing a poor audio feed there.
Crackling, yeah.
Yeah, if you could just, because it's running against your shirt, if you could just bring it off your shirt there, hold it with. I know you like to talk with both hands. I've been watching you and observing you, but if you can just hold it, just take it off with one
just
hand.
hold it like this.
Yeah.
Well, Bambang, thank you for explaining that difference between Einstein and quantum mechanics. That's been, that's it. That's been quite, that was very clear language. And I know that you basically touch on it in your unification theory. Can I just, for the benefit of our listeners, just read some parts of your the blog where your chapter you call the final proof,
please.
where you talk about that that realization of being one, because I just think it's so beautiful. Yeah. So it was Wednesday, August 13th, 1997. I woke up in the morning feeling a little different. The world seems to be so wonderful. Breaking. Oh, okay. All my problems, worries, as well as any other concerns simply disappeared. I felt a strong but comforting vibration in my whole body, especially in my chest. I felt like I'm in love with the whole world around me. So while writing my emails on the computer, I got goosebumps all over me and I felt very strong vibrations in and around me. Then there was a kind of split within my consciousness I was fully conscious and aware of sitting in front of my PC, punching the keyboard, while another part of me is flown away, fusing into a huge ball of brilliant light. I felt connected to my tiny little self that was sitting in my office, as well as to the myriad of other things with no specific forms, locations, nor time frames. Everything was so blurred and diffused. Nothing has a particular identity. It was like an ocean of light where there's no distinction between one particle of light from the other. But I felt the strong connection with all there is. So that's you, one light beam there, light particle there,
Yes.
and then the whole.
Yeah, that's 13 August 1997. You breaking a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the experience. That's the ultimate mystical experience. People say to be one with all there is.
And then you did. Then you went on to do some research, and you basically had connections with I think you said it was Siddhartha Gautama. Some of the ascended masters were working with you then at that time. Could you tell us a little about that, please?
One is I call the Master Liu, who was myself in my past, who was a scholar and also a high judge in the 12th century China. So that's around the Song dynasty. There are Song dynasty. There's also known where the scholars working together, putting Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism together. They call it the Neo-Confucianism. So like Taoism as a cosmology, Buddhism the spirituality, and Confucianism just the moral ethics. So it's a complete, the German called Weltanschauung, so like the worldview. And I think that worldview is also spread out around East Asia, especially also from Korea, Japan to Singapore. And yeah.
Can you get that microphone, mate?
Just get that microphone. He is my, yeah. He was myself in the past, and he gave me a stick to guide me and to protect me, and also a book. The book is actually what I recall or understand as their memory, in my genetic memory. So it started also how the Chinese civilization started since about 1000 BC with the king from Zhao dynasty. And then during the Zhou dynasty, about 800 years, over 800 years, there is the Lao Tzu, Confucian, Mozi, all these Chinese intellectuals has worked together until that Neo-Confucianism and that. So with this civilization starting in 1000 BC, you got the Han Dynasty. That's one of the golden age, and then Tang, and then Song, and then Ming Dynasty. But then there is in between there is a invasion from the Mongols, and after Ming Dynasty, the invasion from Manchuria, the Qing. So apparently civilization can reach such a golden age, but people in general, the whole planet is not ready. You know, that's why there is an invasion and things like that. But yeah, the civilization again will That's what I call my multi-lifespan project with million other peoples.
Yeah, we're all in this together, and we keep on trying our best and trying again, and trying different variations. So I guess in terms of where we focus our efforts on in this stage of our evolution, it seems that we have to transition, and you touch upon it as well, that we transition from a society where we are just out to procure an advantage for ourselves and our families to extending care to other living beings that are sharing this world with us, and understanding that what we do to others, affects us in the long run as well, doesn't it?
Sorry, you were breaking.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
Just looking
actually,
very frustrated.
right now, yeah, actually, right now, to be honest, when I retired in 2017, I was targeting to write my in 3 to 5 years. So I have all the information telling me is actually how difficult it is to write a book, to publish a book. To write is all right, and the publishing, there's a lot of problem. But then, to my own surprise, I published my book in 2019. It took me only 1 year from starting writing the first sentence until the book published. I was surprised because in hindsight, if I look back, probably the third part of that book, the big picture, it have automatic writing. That's probably from my guide. That's that. But then there's also one thing towards the end, a circle, but going the involution and the evolution of humanity. And then to my surprise also at that time, I didn't know that 2020, we have a critical year. So in December, January, we got the conjunction between Saturn and Pluto. In June, July, we got the Jupiter and Saturn. And probably in December, we have a conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto. See, this three conjunction is, Pluto is a death and rebirth planet. So Saturn is representing a lot of structure. So a lot of structure will crumble. That's from astrological view since 2019. But no one expected that COVID-19 comes in 2020. And that's like a catalyst. I don't know, because there is a lot of people now. Actually, the time is chaotic. I think we are on the, if you see, there is a picture in my book I sent you, Julia.
Oh, the human circuit?
That the involution, no, that the circle, the human evolution, not the energy circuit, the last. Oh, we want to talk about that too later?
Yeah,
No
I
more?
think I just have no, I think that's just the three we have, sorry. Yeah.
That's just the three.
Ah, oh, okay. Okay, that's actually the drawing I was talking about is actually like beginning from the source. We are going into the path of separation in involution. In the path of separation, everyone is for themselves. So everyone is against everybody else. The individualism, one has to serve for themselves. It's natural that one has to be selfish and egotistical. Selfish, service to self. And that's also the role of the jungle, the survival of the fittest, for all the competition, the continual battle. And that's why the continuous battle is setting up a hierarchy. Everything is power. You have to compete and you have to control and dominate. That's the paradigm what we are up till now. That's why also the setting up of a pecking order, like the hierarchy from until worldwide. Now we have the world hegemon, like the controller of the world. But see, now we are in the shift. This hegemony is no longer suitable for our next evolution path. The next evolution path is a path of unity, so that we can cooperate and help each other, service to others with love and compassion. And the first thing is actually like to create harmony. Now we are at the bottom of that, shifting from the old paradigm of power into paradigm of love. But during this paradigm of power, because a lot of people, institution, government, nation, utilizing power to overpower others. A lot of people has been feeling oppressed. And now it's time that everybody has got their own freedom. I want to be free. I don't want to be suppressed. And that's why it's chaotic right now. Everybody has got their own opinion. Everybody think they're right. But that's also like a pendulum. When you stay in one side, being oppressed, when you lose it, it goes not stay balanced, but going over. So everything is overreaction of being oppressed. Now we want to be free. Everybody wants to be free. And everybody is fighting. Everybody has that. It's so chaotic. But probably, I don't know how many years, just like a metaphorically, I don't know. Everybody has got their own voice. Like everybody is playing instrument. Now they are tuning their instruments, getting ready to play a symphony, to be a harmonious symphony. That's what the future is about.
Okay.
That's when we have a harmony, we love each other.
Yep, that's very aptly described. That's very aptly described. Thank you, Bambang. We've come to the end of our time slot for the show. So if people want to read your book, can they get it on Amazon?
Sorry?
Can people buy your book if they want to find out more? Can they buy this book on Amazon or on Book Depository?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
actually, I recommend my friends to down the Kindle version, because you can also read in iPad or whatever, and their colors. The book is black and white, and also expensive from printing,
Yeah.
Amazon printing costs.
Right. And there
That
are
book
actually
is
quite a
not
lot of
for me
interesting
making
charts
money,
in there.
just yeah,
Okay.
charts and things like that, and pictures also, all in color, and you can read with the iPad, all in color.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you very much for coming onto the show, Bambang, and sharing us the insights from your inspiring path. And thank you very much, listeners, for bearing with us and the technical issues we've had. But I hope you'll agree with me that it's good to listen to someone who has looked at life, spiritual life and practical life, both from an electrical engineering and from a sort of heart-based, compassionate view. And we certainly hope to be able to connect with you all again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,